Once upon a time. Once upon a time.
Stop, cut! No. We're not doing all that again. Just roll the intro.
This online exclusive set was a surprise, to be sure. Merry Christmas to all, and to all a warm welcome to this here special review. Hard to believe we're at the end of another year, but alas, with that comes our annual Christmas special, which was our New Year special for this year or last year, but you get the point. So, what a better way to end off this year and come out of the YouTube break than with another review, and not just any old review, but a Doctor Who one! And before you guys say anything, I know there's been a lot of Doctor Who content recently, but I promise this isn't becoming a solely Doctor Who channel. I'm just trying to clear a backlog of reviews and ideas and get recently released products reviewed and out of the way so I can get on to other things. So stay tuned for that and a big lineup. But anyway, speaking of big things, this is no ordinary review, for we are reviewing the 2025 online exclusive 14th Doctor and MEEP set. This was a surprise to be sure, but a very much so welcome one, being released back in July, as we are seriously lacking in the 13th to 15th Doctor department.
And yes, I'm not saying 16th Doctor, because I'm choosing to stay blissfully ignorant of whatever the hell decision this is. Oh, come on.
The set finally features the re-release of the 14th Doctor after a long 2-year hiatus of the figure, causing the original figure to skyrocket in price due to its scarcity.
I just wanted my
Funny little David Tennant.
However, this time, he is in his uncoated look that we see for most of the 60th specials, namely Wild Blue Yonder. This new look for the 14th figure is complemented by an entirely new sculpt also, the MEEP, played by the ever-fantastic Miriam Margolyes, and boy do I have a lot to say on it. Both figures are presented in this collector-friendly and almost NECA-like window-style packaging we saw with the 15 and Ruby set, this time with a more rainbow, Christmassy kind of energy all around the packaging. You got your Modern Diamond logo in the top left corner and on the right slope, TARDIS being in the bottom left, info on what the figures are in case you somehow pick this up not knowing what or who this is, and some info about the figures to the bottom right. Spinning around to the back, we have some info about the Star Beast episode, explaining the figure's story, a nice addition that fills you in on the lore. But with all that out of the way, let's get these beauties out the box. Straight out the box, they look solid. They pose really well together and add to the display of other figures nicely. 14, however, does look a little bit off, and while it's obvious why, I'll get to it later. MEEP? Fantastic, and whoa, what a sculpt, but like with 14, it does have its downsides. So let's get to that, and start with the main man himself, the guy who's going to be doing Doctor Who until he's 90. Straight off the bat, I'm impressed by this figure, for sure. It improves small details the original could have done better, like the tartan pattern, the tie, the hair, which no longer looks like a pile of doo-doo, with random grey sideburns thanks to those paint apps, and fulfills the gap of 60th anniversary era content. It also addresses the elephant in the room, the head sculpt. The prior release was something that definitely could have done with the flesh tone plastic, so when character delivered a much needed improvement over whatever the hell that first release was, David Tennant's likeness was done justice finally. But at the same time, it wasn't. It's an uncanny valley thing where it both does and doesn't look like Tennant at the same time, due to the sculpt seemingly being too soft looking, but for an official release, it's good, I'll take it. Everything else looks fine as it is. The waistcoat, which is the same sculpt as the previous release, and actually had its back painted this Bro, what in the actual fuck? Yeah, the back of the waistcoat is painted, but I just got a bad painting in this one, so thanks to my little brother for fixing that up. The legs are a reuse of the Tuxedo 10 legs, which is a darn shame because we deserve more articulation, really. Other than that, there's nothing new, and is that a 14 Sonic? Officially released? About damn time! While this is nice to see, there isn't much to gawk at here despite the Sonic's gummy largeness, as it's a good sculpt, albeit a little inflated, with some decent enough paint to get the point across. Oh, and this is it next to an unofficial 3D printed design, which looks fantastic, but both is good. And now onto my biggest gripe with the figure that I was hinting at earlier. Notice anything wrong with the figure? No? Well, here's a screen grab of the 14th Doctor without his code, and here's the figure. Notice it yet? It's the arms. The sleeves are rolled down. Character had 2 years to develop this, and they still messed up on the arms. How? How do you mess up that badly? The Sonic arms can't even make it. I wish they'd just used the Raggedy Doctor arms instead.
Tough.
Honestly though, overall, this is a decent figure, and one that is welcome to the collection. And now we move on to the highlight of this set for many, and for me too if I'm honest, the MEEP. With the MEEP you get a ton of detail from head to weird little freaky toes, and the paint here, although minimalist in areas, is very well applied, and it highlights the sculpting work, with paint that is honestly lifelike, especially in the eyes. The way the little lines have been painted for those bits surrounding the pupil, and the gloss catches the shine of the light. What makes it even better is the fact that this level of detail extends onto all the swappables that come with the MEEP, including the alternate head. Yeah, you heard me right. The MEEP comes with an alternate head that pops off with ease and captures the look they have when they decide this episode is a complete nightmare and decides to murk 2 of the bug creature warriors. Shame we don't have them in figure form. The detail doesn't stop there, as it carries over to all of the alternative hands that the MEEP comes with, which come out with a little bit of tug, shut up, and can then be put in, so you can have the MEEP conversing with the Doctor, looking cute and scared with his spongy little hand, or shooting those 2 poor bug people again that don't exist. Moving down to the feet, yeah, it's a solid base with no movement for the feet, which is a con, but the rest of the figure makes up for it. Speaking of movement, it's articulation time once more, ladies, gents, and all of my friends in between. The heads on both figures can rotate 360 degrees, with 14's being hindered by a shirt collar. 14's arms can lift to 90 degrees at the shoulder with 360 degree rotation. As for bicep articulation, 14's arms can lift to about 73 degrees. I mean, for crying out loud, why is this an issue? After 2 years, and the MEEP's arms can do better, lifting to 90 at the bicep and the shoulder with full 360 degree rotation. The MEEP has 360 degree rotation of its abdominal area, but I won't push it as it is a little restricted. The MEEP also has a nice 35 or so degree forward and back movement with a ball joint in its base/legs. 14 does have the basic 360 torso rotation, but it's hindered by a solid plastic waistcoat. The same articulation as Tuxedo 10 is seen here, with the 90 to the side in the legs, 90 degrees forwards and backwards at the knee articulation, allowing for some nice, albeit restricted posing. The articulation is nice on these figures, but sadly is a little on the outdated side, with no double articulation like NECA or Hasbro have made standard with most of their figures. But it does indeed work for what it is, and looks good regardless. But alas, that brings us to the end of our final review for 2025, because we did that Sonic way back at the start of the year. How time flies. But honestly, what a wonderful set this is, with some nice updates to some much needed re-releases, and a pleasant surprise in the form of the MEEP. It's a set that I'd argue, despite its flaws, was worth the wait. Both figures pose well with others, like 15, allowing you to recreate scenes from the giggle even. There's a lot of potential for photography with existing figures and those that don't exist, but hey, we can hold out hope for the Wrath Warriors
Hey bro, they released!
Huh?
Check online!
What do you mean, check online? Get Cop Out Outro, baby! We're reviewing 2 figure packs in this one, even though you probably could guess that by the title, but end of thumbnail. But let's get to it! The Wrath Warriors once more come in this delightfully coloured box art with all the same stuff as before. Logo, TARDIS, info on the characters, and stuff about the figures, and info on the episode and the characters on the back without pictures. But enough of this. Let's let these 2 beasties out of the box and get to reviewing them. One quick thing before I show the figures is that both of these sets come with really nice backdrops that complement them in box. The first set containing a shot of the MEEP ship, and the second a screen grab from the Star Beast with the Wrath Warriors in the street. And hold on, did something just move behind that car?
What's the point of being alive?
Hey yo, what the Right, onto the figures. And here are Constable Zreeg and Sergeant Zogroth. Perfect names for your baby. These figures are a sight to behold themselves, and it kind of feels surreal to see them after all those Toy Fair leaks way back when, especially with their little secret.
You give me the fucking creeps, you know that, Dexter?
Yeah, I know. Sorry about that.
For an entirely new creature, sculpting work here is brilliant, with the odd little dents on the bone section, the scales on the tentacles, the antenna, the mouth, even the gun they come with, which pops right out and has trigger buttons and everything. And the detail doesn't stop there. It even goes down to those weird horse-looking legs, which look uncanny, but great, by the way. Though they are both identical, despite having different names, these figures are for sure the highlight of both of the sets, to be honest. Sadly, these guys can't stand on their own, much like Doctor Who Season 2. So to see them come with a base to help them stand is a really nice inclusion, though they are clear plastic, so it's not much to talk on. The paint and finish on these figures is just supreme, whether it be the dirt wash, the green, that kind of odd bone colour. It's all just really good and genuinely feels like a premium product. Right. Before we get on to articulation time, remember the little secret I told you guys about? Okay. Well, it turns out the guy's eyes can light up with a light funnel thingy, similar to the T800 toys from the 90s. But now, it's time for some sweet old articulation time. The heads can swivel 360 degrees with ease, no hindering there, with arms then being hindered, going to just about 70 degrees or so at the shoulder with 360 degree rotation. The bicep joint can go to about 90 degrees, with some swivel just in case you wanted your Wrath Warriors to hold their guns at the side like they're in an album cover. The articulation follows onto the crab claw arm, which does look impressive, and is impressive as it can actually open and close. So you can have them snapping or communicating like Doctor Who Poop did in this edit they made. The legs don't exactly move much, with 45 degree articulation at the knees, hips, and some minor articulation at the hooves? But there we have it, folks. The end of this review. For good this time. No more surprises or fake out endings. These are some good figures here. They're decently accurate, at a somewhat okay price point. Yeah, I would like them to be a little bit more on the cheaper side, especially with how they are a little behind in their articulation and likenesses compared to brands like Marvel Legends. But again, they're not bad for what you're getting. And any Doctor Who fan should still have a good time playing with them, recreating their favourite scenes, and most of all, topping off their 14th Doctor era shelves. Or 4th, see? I have more knowledge. But that aside, I do hope you've all enjoyed, and if you do, leave a like on the video, and leave a comment down below. Do you have these figures? What do you think of them? What do you think of the story they come from? And most of all, tell me what you're getting up to this Christmas. Hopefully subscribing is part of it, because it lets me know that you enjoy the content that I make, and it really does encourage me to keep making content for this channel. Wherever it is you do though, I hope it's good. So, Merry Christmas, and have a bloody Happy New Year. This one's for 2023, asshole. Merry Christmas, you filthy animal.